Didn't you take, you
Yeah,
already took some.
yeah, but last time we talked about everything that happened up to World War II, and that's where we stopped.
Oh,
So, we just talked a little bit about World War II. I mean, you mentioned something about me calling bacon chicken or chicken bacon or something like that.
World War II. What did we say? Were we together then?
Yeah. But, I mean, we just kind of got up to that point.
Well, where were we?
I don't know, where were you in World War II? Brooklyn?
I don't remember where we left off.
That's all right.
World War
We'll
II.
start at the beginning of World War II. That's where we left off.
Oh,
We
yeah.
got up right to the beginning of World War II.
I was in Parade Place, I think. Yes, I lived on Parade Place, and you were in Jamaica, right? World War II.
World War II? Oh, what year was that?
41?
Oh, yeah, no, I wasn't. Yeah, I was in Jamaica then.
And, okay. And then didn't Angelo and Frank join the army, or?
No, just Frank. Angelo never went to the
No,
army.
he never went, but Tommy was living, Benny's brother was living with us, and he went. He
No, he
went.
didn't.
He was called in for World War, no, was it World War II or World War III?
We haven't had World War III yet.
1948? You said 1948?
41.
Oh, 41. Oh, I wasn't in Jamaica in 41. I didn't go to Jamaica till 1944 when the war started. No, I was in Lama Street in Brooklyn. I was in Brooklyn then, and I just had Benny and Corrine
No,
and Tommy.
Corrine.
Tommy.
Corrine was born in 38.
Yeah,
She was in Lama Street.
yeah.
Then you moved to, when did you move to Jamaica?
Went from Lama Street in 1944. I moved to.
1944?
Yeah,
After the war?
yeah.
Started?
Was after the war.
Well, where was I?
No, that's when the war started, 1944, 43.
41.
Huh?
41. Did it start in 41?
Right.
Yeah.
1941.
One.
December 1941.
Well, I moved to Jamaica in 1944. And after that, Tommy, Benny's brother, was called into the service. And he left. So
I didn't think he went into the service.
yeah, he did.
Tommy did?
Yeah, yeah. And he was old. He was old to be called in the service. He was, I think, 41 years old. Or 42, I don't know.
But he didn't stay long.
No, he stayed about 8 months because he got sick while he was in the service, so they discharged him and they sent him home.
But he died in Jamaica.
He died in Jamaica, right. No, wait a minute.
Yes.
Yeah, he died in Jamaica. Yeah, 1940. Where? Nana died in 1950.
He died before Nana.
Yeah. He died in 19. That's right. He went. That was before. He went to the service before 1940. I don't remember. So what else you want to know?
Well, Frank went into the service, right?
Yeah.
Right after Pearl Harbor, or?
No.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I think it was before that. It was before Pearl Harbor.
He went
When
in
was
before.
Pearl Harbor bombed?
1941.
1941?
Dad went into this. He didn't go into the service. He went into the war, though.
All right, what were all of you folks doing at the start of the war? I mean, so you and Benny were married, When did you and Benny get married?
34,
1930. And when was Benny was born in
35,
35 and
Yeah.
Corrine in 38?
and Corinne in 38.
And Alba was what, 45?
No,
Oh,
no, Corrine was 38 and Alba was 41.
46. Alba was born in 1940. Alba was
No.
born 9 years later than Corinne. So
A year
30
and a half later.
Huh?
Oh, 9 years later, right. Okay,
Yeah. So,
so she was born in 46?
Yeah.
so do you remember what you were doing when you heard about Pearl Harbor?
When I heard about Pearl Harbor,
Yeah.
I was at home, alone. And Fred, who was working, where was he working? He was working in Staten Island, I think. He called me up. He says, "Did you look at the radio? Were you listening to the radio?" I said, "No." It was on a Sunday morning. I said, "No." He says, "Well, we're at war." He called me up from work.
And what was he doing at the time?
What?
What was he doing? What kind of work was he doing?
He was working with a salvaging company. Was he working then? No, no. He went back to sea. He was third mate. And he went back with American Hawaiian Lines. That was it. He went with American Hawaiian Lines out to sea, but he was in port, I think Staten Island, when he called me. And he realized that that would affect him because the war, he wasn't going into the service, but he was going to be part of the Navy, bringing supplies and everything else. So it meant that they had to take training in guns and so forth, and have guns put on the freighters and everything else. And I think he left, this was 41. I think he left in 1942 to go to Russia. I'm not sure about those dates. I have them at home, but I'm not sure about them. He left and took supplies over to Murmansk, and at that time there was a lot of submarines, German submarines all over the Atlantic, and they just were shooting planes down, and ships were going down by the hundreds, and that was a time too that England had the Bismarck, I think, running. Is it the Bismarck in the Atlantic that was doing a lot of damage? But in any case, when he left, he got over to Murmansk with, first they went up to Iceland, and then the convoy of about 38 ships left from Iceland to go to Murmansk. And I think of all those ships, only about 9 got through, and he was one of them,
Only 3 got through.
to Murmansk.
It was 33 ships and only 3 got through.
Huh?
It was 33 ships and only 3 got through. It was the Lost Convoy, PQ-17.
I can't hear you.
He was on the Lost Convoy,
Yeah.
PQ-17, and 33 ships started and 3 made it.
No, more than that.
No.
The first convoy. but not with his convoy. He was on another convoy. He wasn't on the only convoy. I think there was one before him, and then he went.
But his was the one where they lost all the ships.
His? No, he didn't lose his ship.
No, the convoy lost all the ships. 33 ships started, and 3 finished. 3 made it through.
Okay.
And
3?
3.
Well, how do you know?
Because I know about, I've read about it. I also read his war diary, which I would love to find. I think it's gone, but
Anyway, I'm not sure about the whole thing. The fact is, he came back safe. After 2 years of my worrying back and forth about him. And when he came back, when was it? We were living on 55 Parade Place in Brooklyn. That's all I remember. What else do you want to know?
well, when did Frank go? When did Frank join the army?
I don't know. When did Frank join the army? When did Frank join the army?
Was it before the war started or after?
Oh, after. Nobody went before the war.
Everything was after.
So
Yes,
what was it like during the war?
Frank went to France first, and after that he did go to Italy. But I don't remember what year it was though. He stayed away a long time too.
So what was it like for you during the war?
When what?
During the war!
During the war. What about it?
What was it like for you? What was life like?
Well, if we had comparatively a good life because we could get food. We were on rations. Weren't we on rations?
Yeah, we were on rations.
But we had nothing to worry about, farms or anything, so we lived a pretty good life compared to the rest of the world because we didn't have bombings to worry about, but we did have shortages of butter and meat and sugar and oil and all that kind of thing. And of course, we managed all right.
What about you, Aunt Nancy?
Well, I had a big family when at that time of the war. Were you away at that time?
No.
Wait a minute here. Fred,
September 42 from Murmansk.
Dad did.
And he was very, very thin. Couldn't do anything but drink. He was very nervous. But then he went back to sea. And I think instead of going back to Europe, he went out to the Far East the next trip. Then I didn't see him for, I don't know how many months. I think about 5 or 6 months. And then he came back. He was safe. Then he went away again. And he was home, that's right. He was home when you were born. You were born August 43. He was home that month. But when Nancy Karen was born, he was not home. He never got to see. Nancy Karen was born in March 45. He never got to see her until he came back in May 1945 from the West Coast. We were living in Queens Village then. That's right. When you were born, we lived in 55 Parade Place, and Fred's dad came and lived with us for a while. But Fred was gone most of the time, and while he was with us, we didn't get along very well. So then he went back to Mississippi. And after he left and Fred came back, we managed to look for a house in Queens Village, and we bought this house for $8,000 in Queens Village.
You bought a house for $8,000.
$8,000.
God.
And it was a lovely house, 3-bedroom, 2 baths. And we stayed there at Queens Village. Nancy was born there. And then in May 1945, when Fred came back to see Nancy Karen, that was the time he told me he was in love with somebody else, found someone on the West Coast that he was in love with and wanted a divorce, which was a complete shock to me, and I just had no idea that that was going on, because up to that point everything was beautiful between us. So it was a complete shock. It just sent me downhill health-wise right along until January or February of 46. I had to go to the hospital and had an operation. Then I was sent up to Trudeau in Saranac Lake, and you and Nancy stayed with Aunt Nancy. That's when you went down there, right?
Yeah, Nancy Karen was 11 months old when
Right,
she came with her, and he was about 2.5 years old.
right. That was in 46. So I was in Trudeau about 2.5 years, and during that time, Fred did take care of all the expenses. He did make every effort to get the children settled. And they were with you, what, about a year and a half?
Well, me, 5 years
No, before they went down to Texas.
to Texas.
Before,
Oh yeah, after about a year, because I started getting sick, and your mother was worried about me, so she wanted you and Nancy Karen to go stay with Hilda. So you
Fred
went.
did, Fred did.
Yeah, so you went to Hilda's and stayed with her about 9 months, and then you came back home because you didn't like staying there. Nancy Karen loved it because they treated her like an angel. I remember that when she came home, your father put her on the table, and she says, "I'm an angel." And I said, "Bruce, did you like staying with your aunt?" "No, she used to hit me with a brush all the time." So we thought that was funny, but we were so glad to get you back. And Uncle Tommy was tickled when you got back. He made such a big fuss over them because they came home from Texas. Yes. So then you stayed another couple of years, another year or so, until she got a place for all of you to be together in.
Was Alba born then? When was Alba?
Yeah, she was just born. Yeah, of course. she was in a bassinet, and he pushed her towards the stairs as she went over, upside the bassinet went upside down, and she was underneath the bassinet. No, she was born then. Yes, she was a baby, but he was a devil. When you didn't want to go to school in the morning, you used to go out and stand on the corner and look all around. Look at the birds, listen to the birds. Bruce, you're going to be late for school. Go to school. Oh, all right. And he'd look around at the birds. And then you received your communion while you were there. The teachers found out that you were living with me, and that I had no time to get a suit for you, communion suit, to get your first communion. They got it. They bought it for him. They bought the communion suit and had got his first communion. And then we took pictures near the church there with you. Those are some of the pictures that I have when you were small. Those are some of them. So
I came down from Trudeau. I was still up there, and I was sick. But I came down
you
for his
came
communion,
there, right? Yeah. Then
and I was in bed.
She stayed a while. You stayed.
In bed. And I remember he had to change from his communion suit to plain clothes
Yeah.
3 or 4 times a day. And by that point, at that point, you said, "But I thought this was supposed to be the happiest day of my life," and you were discussing with the whole thing because you had to do so much changing. Every time somebody came to see you, you had to put on your white suit. Then when they weren't there, you had to play in your play clothes. Then you had to get in the white suit. So you were pretty disgusted. I thought this was supposed to be the happiest day of my life. And what else? Oh, and also,
Okay.
Okay, there were times when you were playing and you used to run back and forth in the house, up the stairs, down the stairs, into the kitchen, back around the kitchen again, until a lot of times you used to hit it into the wall and bang into the wall because you were doing it so fast. And another time he ran outside, and we had rose bushes with sticks on them. So he ran out so fast that one of those sticks went into his chin and cut him right through the chin. And
really?
Yeah, outside. He fell, and the stick got into his chin, and we had to rush him to the doctor, and he got I think he got a couple of stitches underneath your chin from it. So he was a menace when he was small, running back and forth. And Nancy Karen was always so dainty about everything. Only when she first came, when she first came, they would put her in a crib downstairs, you know, and every morning when I would go down, she would have a big load in the pants hanging, and I used to say, "Miss Karen, wait, don't sit down, don't," because she would get it all over her. So I used to say, "Wait a minute, I'll be right down," and then I used to get hold of her and change her and take care of her. But then for a while, she was staying down there while you were there too. When you were sleeping in the porch there, she still had the crib there, didn't she?
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Yeah.
That was when you had the day bed out there, right?
Huh?
You had the day bed out there
You
on,
what?
on the porch.
Huh?
Didn't you have a day bed out there?
A day bed?
Yeah.
No, no, I didn't have a day. It was a regular bed. It was a regular. We put in a regular bed so she could sleep in it. But Nancy Karen had a crib. She had her own crib. And you were upstairs in Benny's room. You used to sleep in Benny's room. I don't know whether you were on in a cot, one of these cots. You slept in that. And Nana and Norma slept in another room, and Corrine slept in the other room, and I had my own room. So of course we had the 4 bedrooms up there.
And I remember before,
And one bathroom.
Huh?
And one bathroom.
One bathroom, one bathroom. Yeah.
I remember when we lived in Queens Village, before this whole thing happened about Fred just coming to see me about his divorce. I used to put Nancy Karen in the crib, and you were, of course, about 2 years old by then, and you'd go and take out the screw on each side of the crib, and then when she'd roll over, she'd roll on the floor. Also, whenever I gave her orange juice, you'd go and get her orange juice and drink it. You know, the bottle. You would still want it to be a baby and pick on her. For some reason, you probably didn't like having her around because you used to be alone. And then she came along and she got the attention. And I guess you were picking on her without realizing it. But
She probably deserved it.
a poor baby deserved it.
Well,
Anyway,
one thing, Aunt Nancy, one thing we missed was you started to say something about during the war you had a lot of people in your house.
Yeah, sure we had. I had you and Nancy. I had Tommy, my mother and my father. So we were 13 of us. We were 13 in that house at that time.
And this is a house on 84th Road in
no,
Jamaica.
wait a minute, it couldn't be.
You what?
You, Benny, Corrine, Ben, Alba.
Alba wasn't there.
Huh?
Alba wasn't there till 46.
Yeah, she was there for a while with you. She was there. She
Yeah, but
was
not during the war.
She was a baby.
But not during the war.
Not during the war,
Yeah.
no, no.
So it was 4, and Mom and Dad at 6, Tommy is 7, and the 2 of them was 9.
9.
So who were the others? No, that's all you had.
Yeah, 9 of us.
Nine.
Yeah.
This was during the war.
Yeah, well,
But when did you move to Jamaica?
in 1944.
Oh, well, where were you living before that? Where were you living?
In Brooklyn, on
I was
Lombard
living in
Street.
Brooklyn, and I moved from Brooklyn to Jamaica.
Well, in Brooklyn, were you living in a house or an apartment or
It was an apartment, yeah.
with all those people?
No, none of the apartment, no.
No,
And the
just
apartment was
outfit.
just Benny and I and Tommy and Benny, Junior, and Corrine. That's all. Corrine was a baby, was small. She was only 5 years old when I moved to, no, 6 years old when I moved to Jamaica.
She was what? 6?
No, that was when on Lama Street. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
No, she was older. Yeah, she was older
no.
when I met
She was
Jamaica.
born in 38,
Yeah.
and you moved 44, so she was
44,
6
yeah.
years old.
Okay, so what did Benny do? What was Benny doing
He
at that
was,
time?
he had the photo studio.
Mhm.
He had that all the time. And it wasn't far from where we lived. He used to walk it, to go to it. He didn't have to drive or anything.
And what was Tommy doing?
Tommy used to work in a tailoring shop.
And how old was Tommy?
And Norma used to work in a place where they made bags for flour and sugar, and he was the printer. He didn't know how to read or write, but he knew how to put the letters in place to print them on the bags, those. So-
He couldn't read or write, but he was the printer. Oh, wow.
and and he used to bring them home without the printing on it, and I used to sew them up and make dishcloths out of them, dish towels out of them. Because they used to use a real heavy material for those bags, So he used to bring some home, and I used to cut them up and make dish towels.
And before we were married, when we were growing up on Park Avenue, remember how we used to have to walk 4 or 5 or 6 blocks to bring the lunch to Dad? to
Oh,
Papa?
yeah, to bring him his lunch. We used to bring him lunch every afternoon.
Yeah, we'd walk, and we were little. We were what, about 7 or 8 years old?
Oh, yeah, that's all.
We'd walk all that distance
And
to bring lunch by ourselves. Either I'd go or she'd go, but not together, one by one. To
one
bring-
day one went, another day another one went. And Nana used to make nice steak sandwiches for him because she wanted him to stay strong and healthy because he was very thin at that time. So she used to send us with his lunch. So we used to bring it to where he worked and then we used to go home.
And nobody was worried about you walking.
Nobody was wearing one.
Worried about you walking
No,
alone.
No.
those days they didn't
Across
have
the
what they.
Across the street there were trolley cars, and there was some, once in a while we'd take a trolley car too,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah, we used to take, once in a while, we used to take the trolley cars and go to Coney Island, you remember?
Oh, yeah.
Then when we used to go to Coney Island, I used to get car sick, and we used to be in those trolley cars where the seats were one back in the other. So Nana used to make us all eat first and get in the trolley car so we could go to the Coney Island. So I used to get car sick, and one day she gave us little stars with egg in it, like she makes for Sean. She gave us that to eat. So when we got on a trolley car, I got car sick and I threw up and I threw all over the back of the seat of one of in the trolley car.
Yeah.
It's plastered all over with stars.
So what was, Frank was at war. What was Angelo doing?
Angela was the smallest one. Oh, when in my house, before you came, way before you came, the 5 of us used to live. We were together, so whenever we did one of us would do something wrong, all of us used to get hit. So we always used to feel sorry for Angelo because he was so small and he used to get hit too, and we used to feel sorry for him. Yeah, because we remember my sister Clemmy, she was a devil. She used to love to go out dancing, and of course she had orphans, and she was like a flapper. She used to wear her hair like a flapper girl and all, and she used to like to go out all the time. So a lot of times she used to get hit for it, and if we tried to cover up for it, we used to get hit too with the strap. So a lot of times I used to take a pillow and I used to put it on me, so whenever my father hit me with the strap, I didn't feel it.
And he didn't know it? So did anybody give Angelo a pillow?
We all used to run and hide underneath the table, or underneath the bed, so he won't get us.
And we lived on the top floor of this house. We had a whole flat, the top floor flat. We had to climb three
long flights.
long flights, not short steps, great big long ones. And we had to get to our house, we had to go up and down those stairs, and then, even when we were about, I must have been about 7 or 8 or 9, I don't remember, and you were older, and Frank was the oldest, we'd have to go all the way down to the basement to get coal in a bucket, a great big bucket, and we'd have to take that up 3 steps at a time. And that basement was always dark, and we'd always have to go down there, but we had to take turns doing it, of course.
And it was dark, no electric, no gas, nothing. We used to go down with a candle. So when we used to go down in that cellar, he used to go, ooh, he used to make funny noises, and he used to scare us even more, because when you went down in the cellar, all there was this big bin with all coal in it. We used to get, my mother and father used to buy it by the tons, like, so they would deliver it, and they would deliver it right in the bin. So of course when we got it, we used to have to shovel it and put it in the bucket, so each one of us would carry a bucket up. But he used to scare us all the time. Every time we went down there, there's, well, we had a lot of good times when we were small. There was one time it was getting to be starting to snow.
The what?
So my father used to play with the men. They used to play cards for wine. Whoever won, I don't know how they did it. Whoever won, they used to drink the wine, something like that. So one day, Angela was small, so it started snowing. So I said, I'm going to go up and get his galoshes and put them on him so that we could stay out and play some more. So I went up, and on the top of the stairs where we lived, there was a $10 bill on the step. So I looked, and I looked in the kitchen, and I saw all the men around the table playing cards. So I took the $10. I went down, and I said to Frank, I says, look what I found. So he says, good. So we went out. We had a ball that night. We bought all kind of things. We went, you know what Charleuses are? No? They were a little round cardboard thing with a little sponge cake in it and a lot of whipped cream on the top. And they were a nickel each. So we went in and we all had one of those each. Then we had ice cream. Then we had cakes. Then he went and he got a sled. He bought a sled for $2 from a doctor's son that he was friendly with. This doctor's son had the sled, and he bought it from him. And we went sledding on this because it was snowing. So then we went home, and in the next morning, we said to my mother and my father, look what we found. We had $5 left yet. So I says, look what I found last night on the steps. My father said, that's mine, I lost it. And I knew he didn't lose it because it wasn't $5, it was $10 that I found. So we didn't say anything to him. Then when we grew up, we got older, then we told him about it, and he laughed. That was
Yeah. And we used to, living up on the top floor, we had fire escapes. And we'd run up and down these fire escapes.
we used to play tags in the fire escape, chasing each other.
So up and down, and we'd go on the roof to fly kites on the roof. That was the way we used to play. Remember that when we go up there and fly kites?
Yeah.
We'd go to the edge and look down, and we thought nothing of it. It was funny.
Now, if Sean went to the edge of a roof, you'd have a cow.
He what?
I said, if Sean went up on the roof and looked over the edge, you'd have a fit.
And how you said it, yeah. And we had no electricity. We had no television,
No radio.
nothing. Just the radio. That came out after the radio. When it finally came out, radio, we all were sitting around the radio and listening to all the stories that they had, and that's how we used to have amusement. We never
Well, that
had
was fun.
anything. We had no electric. We used to have a pipe that used to come down from the ceiling with a little, like a little stocking thing. They used to light it. So a lot of times we used to play tags with each other, and if one of the sticks hit it break, then they had to buy a new one. So a lot of times we got hit with that too, because we used to break that little thing.
Okay, after the war.
Huh?
After the war, what was
No,
everybody
that was
do?
the First World War. That was when there was the First World War.
No, I'm talking about the Second World War.
The Second World War, we all were older then.
Okay, so when did Frank and Betty get married?
They got married in, let's see.
You
if I
got married
in-
first.
I got married first. I gave her my wedding dress.
Okay.
So she got married maybe about 2 years after, maybe 1936, yeah. Yeah, maybe they got married about 1936, 37. And then after that, it wasn't too long after that, then he went into the war. He stayed away a long time when he left. Of course, he went to France, and then from France he went to, and he got himself a girlfriend in France, and she used to, when he came home from the war, she used to write to him all the time, and you could read all the French, how she loved him and everything. I don't know. Poor Betty, she had her lumps with him too.
This is quite a family you guys had.
Well, Betty and I were very good friends, and we'd go everywhere together, you know, the whole group. So we did a lot of things together, more than Nancy. Nancy went to work. How old were you when you went to work?
I was 14 years old.
Four?
Yeah, I went to work before, I graduated elementary school, then went to work, and that time it was a law. You had to go to continuation school, which meant that you had to go a half a day once a week. So that's what I did. That's all the schooling I had.
And,
I never went to high school or anything.
and she went to work in a factory with
Well, I worked in a I worked in a tailor factory. I used to take the threads off the coats, the men's coats. And my mother used to work there too. We used to go together. In the morning we used to take the trolley car and go to work together. Then later on, Frank started to work with us, and the three of us used to go in the same trolley car to go to work. It used to be from Flushing area. We used to
Who
take
was
the car.
that?
Huh?
Who was that? Frank's father?
Frank, me, and Nana used to leave together every morning to go to work.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I
she
don't
used to
remember.
she used to sew the lining of the men's coats on the inside by hand. I used to take out all the threads, and Frank used to work on some of the machines.
Yeah,
So-
right.
So when did Frank had his own company after a while, right?
He what?
Didn't he have his own company?
Oh yeah,
When
later
he came,
on he
when
was
he
older.
came back from the war.
When he came back from the war,
Okay.
yeah.
That's what we're talking about, when he
Yeah.
came after the war.
Yeah, he got his own company.
Okay, and
Yeah.
how did he do that? Just started it himself, or
Huh?
did he just start it himself?
Yeah,
Or,
he started himself, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Of
and,
course, Betty helped him, you know.
Hey, did you work there too?
Huh?
You worked there?
Yeah, later on I was with him, yeah. I used to work in other places, but then I finally went to work with him and stayed with him for quite a while. And Betty stayed with him all the time until he gave up the shop.
and he had problems with the mafia too, then, huh?
Yeah, there was a lot of problems then. There was one time when this one man came up, he insisted that Frank get a certain contract from a manufacturer, and Frank didn't want him because he already had one. He had another manufacturer he was working for, so he didn't want to get the other one. He says, well, you better, he threatened him. So I chimed in and I started yelling at him. So Frank told me to keep quiet, not to say anything. He told me to just get out of here. He says, go in the next room. And he chased me away. Yeah, there was a lot of mafia going on at that time.
So what did Frank do?
Well, for a while he had to do what they said, otherwise they would have either burnt the shop down or do something to spite him. So he did go with them for a while, but then he got out of it. He got somebody to work with him and got out of it. No, that time it was terrible. They had they had a lot of men going in and out of those places talking, and they looked like the mafia too. They were dressed like it. There was one man that went there. He used to come in with stuff that I don't know if it was stolen or what, and he used to sell it for nothing. So I used to buy a lot of things from him, which I shouldn't have, but I did, but it was cheap. I used to buy pillowcases, bed sheets, towels, tablecloths. He used to have all stuff like that, maybe for $1, $2. So So I used to get a lot of stuff from him.
So, let's see. What was Pop doing then?
Tom,
No, Pop.
He was
No.
working.
Grandpa,
Yeah.
oh, he was always he stated, he worked until he was about, I think he retired when he was pretty, well, yeah, I think he was about 71 years old when he retired. And he was always in that same factory. Would make,
I thought he had a shoe store or something at some point.
no,
Or
no.
did some shoe repair.
No,
or-
he used to do, he used to, yeah, he used to fix our shoes himself. He had all the things for it, but he never had his own, no. He always worked in the big factory.
Ah, okay.
He never worked anyplace else.
And when he worked, when you came to Jamaica, he didn't go, he wasn't working then.
No, he had retired.
He had
Yeah,
retired.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, he was able, on the money he made, to buy the house that we lived in on Lafayette Avenue.
That I was living in,
No, on Lafayette Avenue.
huh?
On Lafayette Avenue.
No, he never bought that house. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
they bought that house. That house had a parlor, like a downstairs, a basement, and then upstairs was the bedrooms and the living room. Then there was two other floors, one of them my sister used to live in with Billy and Vincent, little Vincy. And that's when she started getting sick. She got sick after a while, then she passed away.
that's
there was
Cle-
another-
Clemmy?
There was another,
Another floor, yeah, we used to have that rented. So they
Rented,
used to,
yeah.
whatever money they used to get from that, they used to pay their mortgage.
What sister were you talking about just now?
Clementine.
My sister, the
Our
oldest
oldest
one, she was
sister.
the oldest one, Clementine.
But she was fairly old when she died, right?
She was
No.
only 33 when she
Well,
died.
who, I remember somebody, was there an Aunt Cucitina?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, that's
Oh,
what
yeah,
I'm thinking
remember
of.
that?
Yeah.
And Cucitina and
Aunt Teresa.
Michelangelo.
Oh, yeah, yeah. He was, there was, Bucciatina, she was big and he was short.
Aunt Cucitina was my father's sister.
Ah,
And she was married to this, what we used to call Michelangelo.
Yeah,
A little short guy. But they got along
a little
really
short
good.
guy, a little mustache, big mustache.
They never had children. But she was very good with everybody. Would cook all kinds of delicious things for us. But I was starting to say something else and I got off the track, I forget. What were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about the house that we lived on Lafayette Avenue that my father bought. And he worked there until what year?
Huh?
How late did he work before he moved to Jamaica? He quit work then?
I don't know.
Yeah, he was still, when we moved from Park Avenue to Lafayette Avenue, that was really a big step up, having your own house. But, and we lived there quite a long time. You were married there?
Yeah, Clemmy was married there and I was married there.
And Frank was married there.
Yeah.
And then we went out to Queens Village when I first went out. I went first to Queens Village, then you came later from Jamaica. But when Papa was retired, what year was that? Do you remember?
No, I don't remember what year it was.
But it was before you came out to Jamaica.
Oh, yeah, it was before, yeah.
Anyway, we managed. We went through the Depression.
You went where?
Through the Depression in 1929. We were still living there in 1929. And we had no problem because my father kept working and we weren't affected by it one way or another. So we were okay. But a lot of people did suffer from it. That was in 1929. Let's see, how old was I then? 1911. I was 17 or 18, right? Yeah.
And she was a smart aleck. When we were close together, right? Okay, every time I bought something new, she wore it first because she started a date. I used to buy a new hat. We used to always wear hats then. I used to buy a new hat. She wore it. She took the hat first and wore it. Could I wear your hat tonight? No, I just got it. I didn't even wear it yet. But that's okay. You'll wear it another time. She used to wear it. She used to put it on.
And your dresses too.
And the dresses too.
See,
And I have pictures of those too. I have pictures of that too. Dressing.
Do you have them at home?
No, the ones that I told you were in the box what Alba has.
I gotta get that box.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of pictures in there.
Okay.
well, I used to go to the office because I never worked in the factory with them. I insisted, my father, I was going to girls' commercial high school and then I didn't like it because it was going to be a long
And if it
drive.
wasn't for me, she wouldn't be going to school either, because when I graduated, I wanted to go to high school. I wanted to go to, I forgot the name of it, a school where they taught how to do designing and so on. I was always interested in that, but they says no, because it was expensive. They wouldn't let me, couldn't send me, so I never went. But when she graduated elementary school, she wanted to go to business school, and you had to pay for that. I think it was for 9 months, and
$15 a month.
yeah.
I
So then I insisted. I kept insisting my mother and father to make her go to that school, so that she could learn something better for a better job, and that's how she got to learn more.
So I went to Heffley's Business School. My father paid $15 a month that I had no money for. He had to pay it. And I learned typewriting and my shorthand and that kind of thing. Then when I started to work in the office, I had to give him my whole salary. Every time, everything I made, I'd turn over to him. And he'd give me enough for clothes or for trolley money and that
Yeah,
kind of
even
thing.
me, when I used to work, I used to give all my salary. All I used to get was 50 cents for the week to spend. Yeah, that's all I got. I used to make, when I first started to work, I used to make $16 a week. So I used to give the whole $16. He used to give me 50 cents.
So after I worked two years in an office, I saved enough money to go to Bermuda on the Monica Bermuda. And I went for 1 whole week on the Monica Bermuda, the first 2 years that I went.
And that's where she met your father,
No.
in the hospital.
Oh, no.
Didn't you meet him at the hospital?
Yeah, but I didn't meet him on the ship.
No, not on the ship.
No. Then I worked for the, I was going out with this guy, Herbert
Yeah.
Scafati.
Yeah.
Herbert Scafati. And he said, why don't you take a test with the government? You'll be better off. I said, sure enough. I went, I took a test, I was accepted, and they called me to go to one job out at Long Island. I had to take a train. It was a construction job, but that was only for 6 months. Then after that, I went to the, at that time, the prohibition was ended, and they needed people to make all these records straight with the distilleries and everything. So I was transferred to that, and I worked there for about a year and a half. And after that, I went to the Marine Hospital in New York. And that's, after a year of that, that's when I had pleurisy. And they took an x-ray and they found I had incipient tuberculosis. Well, with my sister dying from it, I had to be careful. So then I had to go away for 6 months in Otisville. And when I came back to the hospital, my job with the head of the doctor where I was working was taken. So they put me in the physiotherapy department in the Marine Hospital, and that's where I met Fred. He was a patient. He'd come for treatments. He had fallen down a hole, and he'd come for diathermy treatments. And then one thing led to another, and asked me for a date, and I wouldn't go, and then I went the second or third time. And the first thing you knew, we got involved, and we got married. We got married on March 12th, unofficially. Nobody knew about it. Then on October 1st, we had the whole works. And I felt so silly getting dressed. And today, of course, everybody does it. Getting dressed in a white gown when I already was married and everything else. But for my parents' sake, I had to go through the whole thing. Anyway, from that time on, we were married twice. Then we got married a third time after we got the divorce.
She actually did get divorced.
Oh yeah, he got the divorce while I was still up in Saranac Lake with you and Nancy Karen. We were up there.
So did he marry this other woman?
Oh no, he never married. He changed his mind about that. I don't know what happened. This was a woman on the West Coast. But
So where was he? He was going to sea, right?
what?
He was going to sea at the time, right?
Oh yeah, the whole time. But he did come to Saranac Lake. He brought Nancy Karen up to see me on her either second or third birthday. He brought her up to Saranac Lake, and she fell asleep throughout her whole birthday. We were in a restaurant, and we had a birthday cake, but she was asleep on the high chair. She must have been 2 years old. And he did take care of all expenses and everything else. And then after a year or two of that, he called up and he said he's got his divorce. So be it. He was supposed to take care of me from then on anyway, because I wasn't able to do anything. But I never did go back to work after you were born. I never did go back to work. So he took care of me right along. And then Jerry came up one night. Oh, Jerry used to come to
Used to
your
come
house.
to my house.
Jerry Lewis.
Jerry Lewis. He was a sailor.
He was he was stationed at the St. Albans
St.
Hospital.
Albans.
So it was close to Jamaica where I lived. So he used to come there a lot.
So that was about what, 1950, 1948?
What?
About 1948, 1950?
About, yeah.
Yeah. When did Tommy die?
19, I think he died in 1940. Yeah.
No.
No,
No, it couldn't have been
1950.
1950.
1950,
But
yeah.
you said Mama died.
Huh?
You said Mama died then.
Yeah, she died in 1950. He died before.
No,
two-
Nana didn't
two-
die in
2
1950.
years before, 1948 he died.
Because I remember when Nana died.
Yeah. Yeah, he died before.
I was still
remember-
living at your house when Nana
Yeah, I
died.
remember
Yeah, I wasn't there.
No,
No.
you weren't there.
So-
She started screaming. She says, because she had heart condition, and she starts screaming that he died all of a sudden, you know. And she says, I'm the one that was supposed to die, not him, he's too young. She starts screaming over and over again, saying it over and over again.
But Tommy was Benny's brother,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
You remember him?
No, just remember him from pictures. So, but he looked a lot like Benny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had the same hair. And,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
He was very kind man. He was very concerned about.
Yeah, he used to take care of all the kids. He used to take care of you and Nancy and
And Albert.
Benny and Corrine. He used to take care of everybody. He used to go to the store for me. He used to help me around the house because I used to have to cook, you know, for everybody. So he used to help me a lot. Yeah,
so was he working too, or
yeah, he was working. He used to work
so
in
everybody kind of chipped in, and
huh?
everybody kind of chipped in,
Yeah,
money wise and help wise, and
yeah, yeah. They all used to chip in. And that's when then I start getting sick because it was too much for me. So I start getting asthma, and then your mother start getting worried about me, and that's when she decided to send you to Texas. That was funny.
yeah, I remember one story that, well, actually I remember the whole thing. Dad came down to Texas, and we were riding behind this old black guy in a horse and wagon, big flat wagon, you know, and I leaned out the window and yelled something about "Get out of the way, you nigger," or "You black son of a bitch," or something like that. And Dad got all mad. He says, at Uncle Bruce, he said, "What are you teaching this kid?" Yeah, I still remember that. Yeah, he got all upset about it. I was being a smart aleck. I thought I was doing the right thing, you know. So, but that's probably another reason why I came home.
Bruce, Uncle Bruce taught you that. Yeah, he was that
What?
kind.
And Hilda too.
And Hilda too.
Oh yeah, yeah. They were both very well. They were funny. Uncle Bruce really used to talk about the blacks and all that a lot. But from what I understand, he was very good to the people that worked for him,
Yeah.
and did a lot for different people that he didn't have to do. So he was funny that way, you know.
Yeah.
He talked down at them, but he helped people out any way he could. So a little silly. So
You know, he finally committed suicide.
Uncle Bruce,
What was Hilda's husband's name?
Bruce.
Bruce.
Bruce. Yeah.
Bruce and
Yeah,
Hilda.
he was very nice. He was.
I didn't
nice.
know he had committed suicide.
Yeah, he had cancer. And after a while, he couldn't go through with it. So he committed suicide.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget when he brought you home. It was at night, and he put Nancy Karen on the table. We had her on table. He put her on there,
Oh,
but I'll never forget the way she went. I'm an angel. She went with her hands like. Bruce, how did you like that Hilda? I didn't like her. She always used to hit me with a brush.
She did too. I still remember that brush.
You do? No
Mhm.
kidding.
It was kind of a rounded off square brush with a handle, and it was kind of like gold with, gold and white stripe type of thing, with white bristles, and it hurt. But I also remember they had terrible fights, Aunt Hilda and Uncle Bruce.
they did.
Oh, I remember him choking her one time.
Choking her.
Yeah.
Choking who?
And Hilda,
Yeah.
yeah.
No kidding.
Really?
Hmm.
I never heard about that.
Oh, they were screaming at each other, and she was throwing things at him, and he finally grabbed her by the throat and pushed her up against a wall.
Gee.
And Nancy and I were crying, and it was
That's the first time I've heard of that. I wonder if Fred ever knew about that.
No, I never knew it either.
Probably not. I never mentioned it to anybody. Never thought it was worth mentioning, so.
She had children of her own?
Hilda? Yeah.
She did?
Yeah, Betty Ruth.
Betty Ruth. And,
Betty Ruth and Evelyn.
Oh,
yeah.
well, they were small too, huh, with you?
No, they were older, weren't
They were
they? They
older?
weren't living there when we were living there.
They weren't?
I don't remember them being there.
You don't?
Uh-uh.
Well, I guess, yeah. I guess maybe they had been married by then. Doesn't seem possible.
No, it couldn't be possible.
Well, yeah, because Stevie, that you saw 2 years ago, is her daughter. Yeah, so, and she must be 36 or 40 or something like that. No, she must be about 36.
It's about the mid-30s, yeah.
36, something in the late 30s.
Well, you don't remember if there was other kids there in the house? Oh, no?
So then they must have been married.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the things I remember about living there were feeding the chickens.
Chickens?
Yeah, he had a lot of chickens.
Oh, yeah.
And remember, he used to, every once in a while he'd kill a chicken. And he had this long thing with a hook on the end. And he'd chase the chicken and get it on the leg. Grab him on the leg. And then he'd just pull it up and he'd have this chicken by the leg squawking. And
No kidding.
he'd wring its neck. And then I guess he put it in a pot to pluck it or something. I forget what.
He what?
Put it in a pot of hot water or something to
Yeah.
pluck it.
And take the feathers off.
Yeah, right.
They did a lot of that in the South. They kill their own chickens and eat them right there and then.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Aunt Nora used to do it. A lot of the other people in Mississippi would do it.
They would kill their own chickens.
Kill their own chickens, yeah. And make good, delicious biscuits. Oh, they'd make the best biscuits.
Hey, come on, we better go. You finished?
Ooh,
Well, I guess so for now. We didn't get very far. We only got up to 1950, just barely. You guys kept on wanting to talk about Brooklyn.
but what do you want?